Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been so long since I did one of these. Like, I have 55 books to talk about, and I'm not even joking. I wish I was joking, but I have May, June, July, August, September, and October. I have to do a wrap up of all of those books. And it's not even like I was like busy for real. The only thing that I've been doing was going to a bunch of Nicki Minaj concerts. Like, clearly I've been reading, so I'm like, what was I doing? Why didn't I record wrap ups for each of those months? I don't know, but I must do it all right now, and hopefully, like, I'm gonna try to speed up the process because it's a lot of books, and I honestly don't even remember half of them. But anyway, let's get into this. Okay, starting with May. The first book I read is called The Sacrifice. It's a dark romance, secret society romance, and this is the third book in this series. I read the second book. I gave that 3 stars. Still haven't read the first book. I need to seriously read the first book, but honestly don't even remember this book. I just know that I like the second book more because I didn't really connect with the characters in this one, and I didn't feel the romantic connection between them. So yeah, I gave this 2 stars. The next book I read is called Just for the Summer. It's by Abby Jimenez, and I love Abby Jimenez. She's one of my favorite authors. Like, I haven't read a bad book by her yet. This one is the third book in the series, and it was so cute. There's an online meet cute. I think they like it was she commented on Am I the Asshole post, and that's how their little online meet cute happened. And they both think they have this like dating curse, so they decide to like test it out on each other by having like a summer fling, and it was so cute. This book was really good, and their banter was everything. I really love them. I think this might be my favorite book by her. I have to do my little book rankings by her, but I think this is either number one or number two for sure, and I gave this 4.5 stars. The next book I read is called Slash or Pass, and this is the dark romance slash horror romance. It's about a witchy cam girl. She like escaped a cult with one of her friends, and they think their other friend is dead. Spoiler, he's not. Sorry I'm spoiling it, but I have to. But yeah, and someone's like making a documentary of the cult and their past and all that stuff, and then more people end up dying. That's basically it. I did not hate this book. It just wasn't for me. Like, I didn't feel the connection like between her or the two guys, and I thought the female character was really weak. Like, I don't know. And also like the horror, it wasn't like horroring enough for me. It was like a tame horror. I would have liked it to be more graphic. So yeah, I gave this 2 stars. The next book I read is called No Way Out, and it's another horror novella. And I have no idea what I read. I fear I can't really explain it. Like, all I know is that there's a professor who needs to be in jail. There's a girl who's a psychopath as the main character, and there's another guy who like messed around and found out. Like, and it was smut. I gave this 2.5 stars. I really can't explain this well. I just know that I was in a horror like mood, so I read those 2 books because I read this really good horror book, and I think I gave that 4 stars. I read that months ago, and I don't know. I've just been trying to find like other like horror books like it. So yeah. Okay, the next book I read is called Dungeons and Drama, and this is a YA rom-com, and it's fake dating, and it's so cute. I really love this book. It's about Riley. She's a theater girly, and then she didn't have her license, so she snuck out and took her mom's car, and she got grounded because of that. So she ends up having to work at her dad's store where she meets Nathan, this nerdy guy who he goes to his school, and he's like really into Dungeons and Dragons. And they started fake dating because she was trying to save face with her ex-boyfriend, and he was trying to get a girl he had a crush on jealous. And it was just so cute, and obviously they like fall in love and blah blah blah. And I absolutely adored this book. It was everything. It was so cute and perfect, and it just made my heart happy. I gave this 4.5 stars. The next book I read is called This Summer Will Be Different, and this is a best friend's brother's romance. Lucy, she was a tourist in a small beach town, and she was like waiting for her best friend to come in, and she ends up hooking up with this guy, and the guy turns out to be her best friend's brother, and it's a past and present timeline, so it goes from the past and then until now, and it was just so good. I loved the friendship between her and her best friend, and I loved the relationship with the brother. And Felix, he was just so hot, and it was honestly a really good summer read. I gave this 4 stars, and this made up because the last book I read by this author, I didn't really like it that much. I gave that one 2 stars, but the very first book, her first book I read, I gave that one 5 stars. So this one was 4 stars, and I was so happy, and I can't wait to read more of her books. The next book I read is called Broken Whispers, and this is an arranged mafia romance. It's Italian mafia princess meets Russian mafia enforcer, and she was a ballerina who's mute, and he's a single dad who's also obsessed with her, which we love. And I think he also wears an eye patch. I'm like trying to remember as I'm like talking, but I think he wears an eye patch. And this book was good. I love a mafia book. I enjoyed this book. Didn't love it, but I really liked it. I gave this 3 stars. The next book I read is called The Perfect First, and this is a college romance / sports romance, and I really like this book. It's about Sept. She's a super smart prodigy who hasn't experienced college, and she wants to before leaving, so she's interviewing guys to take her V card, and that's how she runs into Reese, except he thinks it's like a sports related interview. And, like, after he finds out, he's like, what the fuck? Let me help this girl before she gets herself killed. So he decides to help her experience college, and they end up falling in love. I really enjoyed this book. I love the story, the plot, the characters. Like, this book was so good. I gave this 4 stars. Okay, the next book I read is called Funny Story by Emily Henry, and it's a funny story that I read this book again because I'm trying to remember. I think I was on a plane and none of my books downloaded, and I had this book, so I was like, let me just read this book again because I know it's good. So I ended up reading this on a plane, and so yeah, it was a reread. 5 stars, obviously. I'm not going to go into details because I talked about this before just now. I love this book. Okay, now we're on to June books, so yay. Okay, the next book I read, no, pause. The first book I read in June is called Ready or Not. It's Friends to Lovers, Surprise Pregnancy, Best Friends Brothers. I'm anti-kids, but I really, really love this book. It's about Eve. She's pregnant after a one-night stand, not by the friend's brother, by the way. And the baby daddy is torn because he wants to be there for her and the kid, but he also got back together with his girlfriend, so she's dealing with that while also like falling in love with her friend / best friend's brother. And Shep was so perfect. He is everything. Like, he's thoughtful, he's kind, he's caring, he's adorable, he's just everything. I love him so much. And reading about the romance between Eve and Shep, it was so beautiful, and it made my heart happy. There was so much chemistry and love between them, and he wanted to be there for her and a baby, and I adored this book. 4.5 stars. The next book I read is called Heartless Heathens, and I don't really remember much about this book. I just remember her being like locked up in a tower somewhere hidden, and these 3 unhinged guys, like, they find her, and there was a lot of smut, and I gave this 2 stars on Goodreads. The next book I read is called Not in Love, and this is a STEM romance / forbidden romance. It's about Rue and Eli. They're having like a secret affair. Eli is a part of this takeover at the company Rue works at, and she's besties with the owner of the company, but like, is that really your bestie? Spoiler, that wasn't really your bestie. But, and not because of Rue. Rue has issues, like, she can't let people in, and he's just obsessed with her, and we love that. So he's breaking like all her walls down, and I like this book. This book was really good. I just liked her other books more, so I'm torn. This is either 3 or 3.5 stars. The next book I read is called To Catch a Firefly, and this book was so sweet and beautiful. It's childhood friends to lovers, and it's a gay romance. It's about Ellis and Lucky. They're two best friends who grow up together. Ellis is like, he's neurodivergent, so he doesn't talk much except for to Lucky, really. And Lucky's just this free spirit. And their friendship is amazing, and I liked how their relationship developed. And I think this is my first, like, just 2 men only, like, no female in it, and it was just so beautiful. I really did love this book. I gave this 4 stars. Okay, the next book I read is called Kidnapped by the Bratava, and this is a mafia romance / accidental pregnancy, and the title of the book, like, gives the plot away, and I wasn't really a big fan of this one. I didn't connect with the characters. Like, I thought he treated her like crap, and she just took it, and she was just weak because she instantly, like, forgave him. So I gave this 2 stars. The next book I read is called Toxic, and this is a dark romance. She's a nurse at a prison who's married to, like, an abusive man, and she's also fallen for an inmate. I thought this was going to be, like, a real, like, taboo relationship between a nurse and a real inmate. Spoiler alert, he's not really an inmate. So this book was okay. I needed more. I wasn't really invested in a relationship. And I just thought it was going to be different because I thought he was going to be, like, a real inmate. So, I don't know. I gave this 3 stars. The next book I read is called Hunt Me, Darling. And this is a dark romance, and it's a reverse harem. It's about an FBI agent. She's hunting these 2 killers, but is also being stalked by them. And I enjoyed it for the most part. It could have been better, but I didn't hate it. It just was a little repetitive. And also, I guess the killers, like, from the very beginning, I was like, oh, it's these 2. And it was. But it was so good. It was a good read. I gave this 3 stars. The next book I read is called Faking It with the Forward, and it's a hockey romance / fake dating romance. Reese kissed Twiler, however you pronounce her name, in front of his ex to get her to go away, and they started fake dating, and blase blase, you know how fake dating turns into real romance. My only issues with this book is she should have stood up to her ex, and her friend should have went to the cops. But other than that, it was a okay book, okay storyline, and 3 stars. Okay, the next 2 books I read is called The Heartache and Hope Duet. It's about Ava and Connor. Ava is going through a lot, like, with her family. Like, her mom has a lot of serious health issues, and Connor's focusing on basketball, but he's so drawn to Ava. It's so cute. And this duet is basically the ups and downs of their relationship. And it honestly took me a minute to, like, get into the book because I wasn't really vibing with it at first. But then once I kept reading, I was like, okay, I like it. I really did end up liking this book, like both books. And my heart, it just broke so much for Ava, like, reading about her and her family. And she was just such a strong character. And I like their relationship. So I gave this 3.5 stars. Okay, the next book I read is called Tutoring a Player, and it's a hockey romance, sports romance, and the title really explains the book. It was cute though. I did like it, and I gave it 3 stars. Hey, now we on to the July books. Okay, the first book I read in July is called Burnout, and this is a good girl, bad boy, gymnast / motocross guy. Knox is a hottie with tattoos and a temper, and he's a professional motocross guy, and Avery is an Olympic gymnast, and she's, like, recovering from this injury, and she's scared of, like, competing again, while he's taking care of his brothers, and he has to, like, what's it called? like work on his reputation. He had like a bad reputation in the field that he's in. So they end up training together. I really like this book. They balance each other out so well, and I enjoyed the plot. I like the banter between the two, and their relationship. I like the relationship, and I really like the side characters. Everything I liked everything about this book. Basically, I gave this 4 stars. The next book I read is called Signed, Sealed, and Delivered. This is the second book in the series. Did not read the first book because one thing about me is I'm read a book out of order. I don't really remember this book that much. I just know that they're roommates and he's her brother's best friend, and it's forced proximity. Kala moves in with her brother's best friend Nathan, and the romance was formed. I don't know. It was cute. I gave it 3 stars on Goodreads. Okay, the next book I read is called Rival Darling. It's a hockey romance and fake dating romance. Violet, her ex, cheats on her, and she starts fake dating the bad boy rival from a different school. And she was kind of annoying for believing her ex who did her dirty, like, over her current boyfriend, but, like, whatever. And this book wasn't bad. It was good. I gave this 3 stars. Someone on Goodreads said I wanted to give it 5 stars, but then he started figure skating. And that killed me because that was my thought process. I was like, is it 4 stars or 3.5 stars? But then I remember the figure skating and I was like, 3 stars. You're getting 3 stars. The next book I read is called Sinbin. This is a sports romance, hockey romance, college romance. It's about Ava and Colt. This book wasn't horrible. It just wasn't for me. Like, the very first chapter, he hooked up with her roommate, and then she hooked up with her best friend's brother. But, like, if you're gonna do that, like, do it for real, because, like, the relationship wasn't even between them. It was between Ava and Colt, and I don't know. I didn't really connect with the characters or the story, so I gave this 2.5 stars. The next book I read is called That Time I Got Drunk and Saved the Demon. I really just be reading shit because why? Okay, it's about Cinnamon who goes on a quest with a demon. That's all I got. It was kind of funny. It was okay. 2.5 stars. The next book I read is called Our Scorching Summer. Is this the second book in the series? Yes. Did I read the first book? Nope. Am I going to? Who knows? But this book is Friends to Lovers. You got Nico, and then Nico's never been in love, and then you have Lily, who doesn't want to commit again. So they're perfect for each other. Nico is her best friend's brother-in-law, and so after losing her job, she ends up going on vacation with Nico, and this was really good. It was a great summer read, honestly. I really liked the book. I loved the characters, their chemistry, and the banter. I just thought they were perfect for each other, and yeah, I gave this 4 stars. The next 3 books I read is the Waiting on the Sidelines series. 3 books. This is young adult sports romance series. It's about Reed and Nolan, who had a lot of ups and downs, like, in a relationship from high school to, like, years later when they're married and have a kid. Like, yeah. Parts of this book, and when I say book, I'm talking about, like, all 3 books included. Like, parts of it, like, it pissed me off, because, like, it was so bad, but some parts were bad, some parts were good. It was pissing me off, and a lot of their problems they had was, like, driving me crazy because it could have been avoided with communication, but whatever, they got through it, and so did I, and overall, I did end up, like, really liking the series, so I gave, each book got 3 stars from me. August books, let's get it. The first book I read is called Faking with Benefits. This is fake dating / reverse harem. It's about Layla, who sucks at dating. She's never had a boyfriend, and her 3 guy friends who does a podcast, they agreed to help her with her relationship by fake dating her. Like, they're all dating her, they're hooking up with her, and they don't mind sharing, so I don't care. But yeah, she hooks up with all of them. The conflict pissed me off. Like, I hate third act breakups so much, but this conflict really pissed me off. And like, they didn't grovel enough. Like, they should be kissing her feet, sucking her toes, all of that, because of what they did. So that just thinking about it, like, still makes me mad. So 3 stars. The next book I read is called Lights Out. This is a dark romance / mass stalker / smut. The guy, he creates videos in like a ghost face mask, and he's really popular for it, and she's obsessed with them, and because of that, he becomes like obsessed with her and wants to know if she's like really into it. And yeah, what was cute about this book was that he like took on a role as her cat's father, who like instantly I was like, okay, that's cute. I'm ignoring that he stalked her, broke into her house, put cameras in her house. I'm ignoring all of that because this is a dark romance. A complaint I have is that this book was really long for the lack of plot. So yeah, obviously the smut was like the best part. And another complaint I really have was it wasn't like really a dark romance. Like, he was not dark. He was not a dark character at all. He was not dark. He was not broody. He was not mysterious. He was not a psychopath. He just like recorded himself in a ghost mask. Like, okay. So because of that, I gave this 2.5 stars. The next book I read is called Dead Devil's Night. It's a dark romance, revenge romance. 1 girl, 2 guys. It's about a girl. She's going on a revenge killing spree against these guys that assaulted her and killed her best friends. They wasn't dead, but like whatever. And there's my I enjoyed the concept. I just needed more like from the characters. I didn't really connect with them, so I gave this 2 stars. The next book I read is called The Office Party, and this is an office romance, boss employee, novella, rom-com. And this was a short, fun, easy book to read. She hates her boss, and she tries to get out of this mandatory annual holiday trip that he does for the office, but she can't. And she ends up like getting him for Secret Santa, and she wasn't happy about it, so she like re-gifts the gift her sister gave her to him, and that's not the kind of gift you give to your boss. So there's that. And I love the main characters. I love their chemistry. Like, you could tell they were like meant to be from the beginning, and it was so cute and good. And I think this novella would be even better as a full-length novel. So I gave this 3 stars. The next book I read is called Play Along. This is the 4th book in the Windy City series, and I freaking love this book so much. It's source romance, fake marriage, he falls first, found family. Love it. It's about Isaiah and Kennedy. He's a baseball player, and she works for the team, and they get drunk and married in Vegas. Like, I love drunk marriage books. I eat drunk marriage romances up. I keep saying that. I need to find more books like this because I love it. I love it, love it, love it. And Isaiah Rhodes, he's just so perfect. Like, that's a real man. I am in love with that man. I gave this book 5 stars because I'm obsessed with it. This is my favorite book of the month, favorite book of the summer. I'm obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with this series. I really love the entire series so much. Yeah, can't wait for the next one. And the next book I read is called Drum. THRUM, Drum. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right, but honestly, this is a novella, and honestly, I can't give a summary for this because, like, not only was the main character confused in the book, I was confused as a reader. Like, my head was spinning. I don't know what I read. Like, I have so many questions and I want to know more. This should have been a full-length novel to like answer all my questions because I'm still confused. Like, thinking back at it, I know, I gave this 3 stars. The next book I read is called The Exception to the Rule. This is another novella, and it was really cute. They're pen pals, and they only email on like Valentine's Day because that's how it like started. And the first half of like the novella, which is really short, so the first half is basically so like via emails, and it was cute. I really like this book. I think I would have like loved this book if it was like a full length novel, but still, it was still really cute. I gave this 3.5 stars. The next book I read is called Worst Wingman Ever. This is the second novella in that novella series. This was short, cute, and it started off with like the wrong Valentine's Day card, and that's all I got. I gave it 3 stars. Almost there. Now we're on to the September books. Okay, the first book I read in September is Rosie in a Dreamboat. It's a part of the novella series. So again, it's a novella and it's about her. She gets stuck in some machine at a spa and a firefighter had to save her, and it's really short and really cute. Like, I don't know, I felt the vibes between her and the firefighter. I love that. I gave this 3 stars. The next book I read was crazy. It's called Ecstasy, and there was so much going on in this book. Like, it was insane. Honestly, I have no words. It's about Zara, Eli, and Alex. How do I say this? One is a druggie, one is a psycho, and the last one has anger issues. And they're all like intertwined with each other. When I said there's so much going on, there's so much going on. There's murder, there's abuse, there's cheating, there's violence. There's like a almost drowning and so much more. It was crazy. It was a hot mess, and I cannot put this book down. I gave this 3 stars. Okay, the next book I read is called Drop, Cover, and Hold On. This is the 4th novella from that novella series, and it's about an earthquake. An earthquake traps her and this bakery owner inside a store, and yeah, it was really short. I didn't hate this book. I just needed a little bit more, and honestly, I didn't even need that much more. It didn't hit the same like the first 3 novellas did, so I gave this 2 stars. The next book I read is called Face Off. This is a hockey romance, and I really like this book. It's the girl hockey player and me. She joins the boys' professional team in the NHL. Like, we love that. But yeah, I really like this book, and I loved Emmy and Maverick so much, and their first meeting was hilarious. Like, I love the banter between them two, and I still can't get over the first meeting because she's like ready to meet him like as a player, and he's like, ooh, hot girl, let me hit her. So that was funny. 4 stars. Okay, the next book I read is called Make Me. This is a dark mafia romance. She saw her best friend get murdered, and she thinks it's this mafia guy, and she starts following him, not secretly, might I add, because he like instantly like saw her, but like whatever. TikTok recommended me this book, and it started off well, but then it like went downhill, and it just wasn't for me. Like, I'm not complaining, but yeah, it just wasn't for me. And don't even get me started on that whole daddy shit, like, cringe. But 2 stars. The next book I read is called With Any Luck. This is a novella. It's a part of the novella series. And yeah, it's about the best woman and the man of honor. They're searching for the groom because he like disappeared on his like wedding day or whatever. And yeah, this book was just meh. Like, I needed more, and also it didn't hit the same like the first 3 novellas. So again, I gave this 2 stars. Okay, don't judge me. But the next book I read is called I Married a Lizard Man. It's an arranged marriage between a human and a lizard, and I don't know. I can't explain it. I didn't hate it. If you try to forget that it's a lizard man, it's really good. Like, I gave it 3 stars. Like, yes, it was weird, but it was still kind of good. So I read the second book. It's called I Married a Naga, or how do you pronounce it? And it's a marriage of convenience between a snake man and a human. It was it was cute. Like, it was weird, but I didn't hate it. Like, she would have been killed if it wasn't for him, so he saved her life, and we love that. 3 stars. Okay, back to some normal reading. The next book I read is called Black Swan Affair, and this is a love triangle, friends to lover, and this book was messy. It was so messy and amazing, and I eat messy books up. Okay, so she grew up with these brothers, and they both love her, but she's in love with Killian, and they have a relationship, but he ends up marrying her sister. So she's like, fuck that. I'm gonna marry the other brother, her best friend, and oh, it was so messy, so much drama, but it was so good. And then when it was revealed, like, why Killian married his sister, I was like, damn. Like, was it worth it? You lost the love of your life, you dummy, but... And now she's happy with your brother, because she wanted you, but you messed that up. But, whatever. Honestly, I didn't know which brother to root for, because, I don't know, I really did like them both, and I was thinking, like, oh, maybe she could be with both of them. But that would have been crazy. But, yeah. I didn't mind who she ended up with. I gave this book 4 stars. I really liked this book. It was so messy and so enjoyable. Love it. 4 stars. Okay, and the next book I read is called Royal Valentine. It's a novella. It's a part of that novella series. It's a princess who's pretending to be a regular person, and she meets this guy who also has like a secret identity slash ties to royalty, and it was good. It was going to be 3 stars until the third act breakup. I was like, a third act breakup in a novella? That's actually crazy. So 2 stars. Last book in September that I read is called Hate You Always. It's family, friends, college romance slash brothers teammate slash friend slash sports romance. It's about Julia and Ryder. They've known each other like their whole life. She's super focused on school, and he ignores her. Like, they're not close. But he does, like, ruins her dates, but, like, whatever. She decides to go to a party one night, which is, like, really rare for her, and he looks after her, and he sees her college, like, bucket list, and he decides to help her. And I like this book. It was cute. She was the one who, like, broke things off with him, which was surprising, because I was like, oh, usually it's like the boy who like messes up. So she ended up having to do like a big romantic gesture to like get him back, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed that. I really liked the book. I gave it 4 stars. We almost done. We almost done. October books. Almost done. Okay, the first book I read in October is called The Reality of It All, and this was my first book by this author, and I love this book so much. It was so different. Like, it's about a reality dating show, but the contestants, they're tricked into being on a show. Like, Kala, she thought she was there for like a writing event, but it wasn't. It was a dating show. And her love interest, Eli, he wasn't there by his, like, famous dad to, like, fix his reputation. And I was obsessed with them from, like, the very beginning. Unlike Kala, who was, like, denying her feelings. Because she wanted to stick with a safe choice at the beginning. But no. My only issue was the third act breakup because I hate third act breakups, but like I understood it, so I was like, okay. But yeah, this is a really unique book, like the plot wise, and the setting, because they were on like a reality TV show setting, and I really enjoyed this book. I actually loved it. I'm torn. It's either 4.75 stars or 5 stars. I'm gonna say 5 stars. Yeah. Okay, the next book I read is called 30 Day Boyfriend. This is the fake dating slash fiance trope, slash office romance, I guess. Her boss asked her to be his fake fiance for 30 days so he could close this deal. And in return, she gets out of her employment contract because she don't want to work there no more. And this book was honestly, it was so predictable, but it was still good because the tension like between them made up for it. So I like really enjoyed it, and I gave this 4 stars. The next book I read is called A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I'm so late to this, but I read this for a book club and I really enjoyed it. I should have read it sooner. Like I have the whole series just sitting on my bookshelf, like ready to be read, but I'm finally into it, and I started up the first book this time, so doing good. But yeah, this is for a book club, and everyone and their mother knows this book, talked about it. Like, she's researching a murder case for her school project. It was a good book. I really liked this book. I wasn't expecting it to be like 2 people involved in like the killing, and yeah, I wish there was more romance. And that's so crazy to say. And when I told my book club this, they was like, did you think it was romance? I was like, yeah, because people were like, oh, the 2 main characters are so cute. Like, where was the romance? Like, what was cute about this book? It was a good book. It was a good book. But, like, what was cute about the 2 characters? But, okay. It was still really good. So, 4.75 stars or, like, 5 stars. That's the vibe. Okay, the next book I read is called Over Her Dead Body, and I read this for a book club too, but I couldn't even go to that meeting because I had a lot going on. But this was a thriller. It's about this old lady. She kills herself pretending to be dead to punish her kids who she took out of her will. That's basically it. My only, like, real complaint was that I wasn't a big fan of, like, all the point of views. Like, everyone got a point of view. I'm like, alright, I'm tired of seeing, like, from everyone's perspective because it got repetitive when it, like, was... Yeah, it was just repetitive when it kept bouncing from different POVs. So, yeah, I gave this 3 stars. The next book I read is called Accidental Baby from my brother's best friend. Rockstar romance, age gap, brother's best friend. She's on tour with her brother's man, and she hooks up with the brother's best friend. That's basically it, and she gets pregnant. Like, I didn't hate this book, but I didn't love it. I didn't really, like, feel the connection, the romantic connection between them. But it was okay. I gave this 3 stars. And the next book I read is called Campus Player. This is a college football / soccer romance. She's a soccer girly and he's a football guy in college. And he's like a son to her dad. Like, he attends their weekly family dinners. And, like, even though they knew each other for years, they're not close. But it turns out he's, like, in love with her. But she just doesn't know that. And she thinks he's a player, but he's not really a player. Like, he's a virgin. Like, he does other stuff, but, like, he saved his virginity for her, which is rare, like, in a book. I think this is, like, a first for me, like, reading about that, because usually, you know, they're, like, all forced. But, yeah, it was good. I enjoyed this book. I hated the third act breakup, though, because so avoidable, but whatever. 3 stars. The last book I read in October, the very last book of this wrap up, is The Dragon's Bride. And do not judge me, please do not judge me, because I read this book based off a Goodreads review. It was so funny. I was like, I need to read this book. Anyway, she makes a deal with a demon and she gets put on an auction block and sold to a dragon. That's it. That's the story. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It wasn't great. I gave this 2.5 stars. But the Goodreads review, it didn't lie, and I don't know. 2.5 stars. Okay, that's it for the 6-month reading wrap up. 55 books is crazy. I cannot do that again. But yeah, we're done, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.